Welcome to the Penguin Podcast, brought to you by Penguin Facilities Management.
Right, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, well, I'd like to say thank you very much for having me. This is an absolute pleasure, and having kind of seen the initial vision of the podcast and what it was going to be, and now sat here today, what it already is and how much it's growing, it's a real pleasure, so thank you very much.
No, well, thank you very much.
I'm Emily Smailes. I'm Managing Director of eMarketing, which is a digital marketing agency. You are one of our very valued clients, and we've been working with you for a number of years, supporting you essentially to get seen online, along with a number of other different businesses within similar kind of spaces.
Well, thank you very much for joining us then. So, I call you an outsider, but you're not quite an outsider.
Not really.
Because you're pretty much an integral part of our business. But from an outsider, what was your original vision and thoughts of FM as an industry before you really got into working with us?
Very good question, and that takes me back when we first met each other. And we met each other just down the road. We were at a networking event, and we got talking, and you said you were in FM, and my initial reaction was, being totally brutally honest, oh God, that's boring. I kind of wasn't really excited by it. However, the way you spoke to me about what you do, why you do it, who you work with, for me, there were just alarm bells ringing of, gosh, this is so marketable. And anything that is marketable to me is exciting.
Yep.
Because you'd mentioned all these different brands and where you wanted the business to go and what you wanted to achieve. And to me, that kind of brought it to life.
Yeah.
And then we had more discussions, and we discussed kind of where you wanted to go and how marketing was going to play a role to that. And every single month, week thereafter, it's just got more and more exciting for me.
Yep.
Because I think you in particular don't just view it as what it is, because the bare bones of FM, what it is it's cleaning, maintenance, all the typically boring things. But when I think of Penguin, I think of AI, future, marketing, technology. So I think credit to you, and I'm not here to just speak highly of you, but you've really changed the game in terms of FM and actually what that means to me and to everyone else.
So no, I really appreciate that, because I do remember going back to that first conversation that we had.
Yeah.
And I remember the word,
boring.
Yeah. And that is, that's very much from an outside perspective. As a business that wants to encourage people to come into the industry and have a career in the industry, that's obviously, that's disappointment, but we're hoping to put some energy and change the way that FM is viewed from an outside. So as well, this has probably changed the direction of your business, because it's give you that energy to actually go, there's you spoke earlier about, it's all about opportunity, and working with with us and getting that knowledge of what the FM, the built environment, is about. You're now working with multiple other companies, and being given that opportunity to sell your business. What do you think makes marketing in this sector so exciting and so attractive to say 2 years ago it was boring?
I'm going to give the honest answer of you guys, genuinely, because I think what makes it so exciting is the people. We'll have constant phone calls, and I get excited to see your name, because I know it's something that's future, forward moving, something new, and you're not going to call me and tell me oh God, there's this problem and we can't fix it. And you're going to call me and you're going to say, Emily, we've just invested in this AI software. It's going to take our business to the next level and we want you to market it. And I think it's the energy and the people that make the space so exciting, and you really do make it what it is. And for me, that makes it so easy to market, because we're not speaking about the same boring things that other people maybe get stuck in a rut and think, well, the only things I can speak about is what I'm actually doing, which if we're taking FM, it's cleaning, it's, whereas you're looking at the future and all these exciting things that can come with it. And that makes your brand interesting, that makes your social media have followers, that makes the podcast listeners listen, because they're excited about the future, not just what you're doing today.
So we look at the industry as a whole now, and sometimes the industry does, it stays below the radar. So why do you think the industry has struggled to tell a story? We see it improving all the time, but why do you think it struggled to tell that story?
I'd say because of the stereotype of the industry and people believing that they are just cleaners and they are just there for building maintenance. And I'd say people have really just bought into that and believed it themselves. Oh, well, I am just a cleaner and I do just do building maintenance, so who's going to really find that interesting? So it's that stereotype that people have in their head, therefore they think no one's going to listen to the story. But they're not making the story interesting.
But we all have a story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's trying to unpick that and understand that actually what you're doing isn't just maintaining a business, it's improving the profitability, it's improving the figures that they actually come out with, it's improving the staff morale. There are all these additional things that that window cleaner isn't just a window cleaner. They're more than that.
Absolutely.
And it's like that story about the janitor and the man that got put on the moon. The janitor really believed that they were a part to play in the man going on the moon. They weren't just thinking they're just a janitor. And I think it all starts with perception. If you have the perception that your story's boring and no one wants to listen to it, then it's going to be boring and no one's going to want to listen to it. But if you really unpick it and go, actually, do you know what? I'm doing this. It's interesting and people want to listen.
Yeah, absolutely. I was at an event on Thursday night and talking to a lovely gentleman, business owner, does no marketing whatsoever.
Hope you had my card in your pocket.
So he's a landscaper. He cuts grasses, he cuts hedges, works with some fantastic brands. But he was very much, I don't know how to market my business. And it's not a very exciting part of the industry. But when I started talking to him about his beginning, about that story, all of a sudden it comes alive. It really I could visualize exactly where he needs to aim his marketing. Bought his first lawnmower for £80, had a van, that was £800, and he run it into the ground, and had to go out and buy the next one, and he run it into the ground. He now has a fleet of 10 vehicles.
Awesome.
And what a story.
And
it's simple marketing that people will get and people will relate to and remember him. But until we sat and had that conversation, he'd not even thought of it in that way.
I guess similar to us though, when we first met, I was saying to you, Mike, why on earth aren't you speaking about this? Because the first things that you were saying, they weren't reflected online. And I therefore then looked at your social media And I'm like, you're far more impressive than what my phone's telling me. Yet 1 million people are looking at your social media, not having the conversation with you. It's far more accessible to look on your phone and see the story, yet you're not telling it. And you're waiting for that networking event where there's only 30 people in the room that you can possibly speak to, where you can do that online with a video or content. And it's important.
We go back to that point then, where we go back to them original conversations. You obviously have done your research, you've done that digging, as we do in all our sales processes, and you've seen that opportunity. We're a huge industry. So do our competitors, do our colleagues, do they need to up their game?
100%. 100%, yeah. And I guess they're just in the situation you were, but you're now further ahead because you've decided, right, we're going to invest in this space and we're going to invest in e-marketing to do that for us.
Yeah.
But there are no other competitors really that I see in your space that are doing near enough what you guys do. And it's not to say that you need to invest in every single section of marketing straight away, and you don't need to do it all at all, but there are small things that each company could do that will make a material difference, and they just have to start and also have the courage to start, because it is interesting and it is what you make it.
Yeah.
There are so many people, I've had meetings with accountants, I've had meetings with lawyers, I've had meetings with, those compliance, typically boring sectors, and the first thing they say is, there's no content in what we do.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're a business, you're operating, of course there is. Tell me how you started. And similar kind of thing. Oh, well, I started in my back bedroom and now I've got a team of 100. Done. There's your story.
Yep.
Why are people waiting for that opportunity to tell it?
Yeah.
They need to just get started. And if it started with one thing, they can start with one thing and then they can add to it and add to it and add to it. No one's here to say they've got to spend £1 million.
No.
It's just knowing the importance of sharing the story. And I don't think anybody really in this space does the level of what you do.
Yeah, no.
Which is great.
And if everybody just did a little bit, and we talk about change all the time, how much would that change the perception of what is known as a boring, dirty, old man's brigade industry?
Massively. I mean, I take the example of a state agency. So that's very typically, 5 years ago, very traditional. You'd market in the newspaper and that's how people would find the properties. Not anymore. And I've seen this a lot with a lot of different estate agents. They're coming to us and going, we've seen so-and-so do a really good job. We should really be doing this. And we've actually realised that, people are searching for the houses on social media. They're not even just using Rightmove anymore. And suddenly, and it's happened very quickly, every agent's now going, we need to do something, we need to do something, we need to do something. So everybody's raised the bar, which is a great thing because, like you say, it's made that space far more modern. And that's no bad thing. It's good having competition and it's good having people that want to up the game because it only just raises the profile for the industry.
Yeah.
So 100% people need to be doing more.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So you work very closely with business leaders. You and the team are constantly communicating with ourselves, and I know you do that with your other clients. Your communication across to our team, and we sit with the team and we encourage the team to get seen online, to up their profiles. But then we watch where we're seeing this with others, and the business leaders are unseen. Do you think that's a failure?
Okay, interesting. I've had this conversation a couple of times with a couple of different people who have different perceptions of personal brand. So there are a lot of individuals that just want to go under the radar and decide that that's kind of their take on it. They want the business to be seen. They don't almost want the credit for it. Because there are a lot of individuals that are out there on platforms like LinkedIn that are almost doing it for their ego and not for the business. And I think that gives it a bit of a bad reputation. And I think it totally depends on the individual. I will always promote personal brands because people buy from people. Same thing as what I was saying to you. You can speak to 20 people in a room potentially in one day, but you can speak to 2 million online with a post. So why not do that through your own personal brand? Yep. I always promote it, but then sometimes it can be used as a bit of a strategy. So it's like really high-end watches, how you have to stay onto a waiting list to get one and you can't actually just get one. So it's kind of like almost inaccessible. And sometimes there is a strategy around that where it's, wow, this business is so amazing and who runs it? And we don't really know anything about the person that runs it. Yeah. And it's a bit of a strategy to try and get more people intrigued. So I think it can be used to your advantage if you don't want to be seen as the person that's leading the business. But then also the benefits of doing it and putting yourself online and building that personal brand are phenomenal. So I think it totally depends on the individual, the business, and what you want out of it. But I would always recommend doing it and building that personal brand because it can be so powerful.
Yeah, no, and I totally agree that personal brand is an absolute utmost. You know, whether you're a business leader or you're an influencer within your business. Yeah. You need to have that personal brand because people buy from people.
And connection to the business as well. I'd say you do that very well. Obviously with the help of us. But your connection to Penguin, I'm sure there'll be countless people that have you saved on their phone as Mike Penguin.
Yeah.
Because there's that close association between you and the brand. You know, you've got all your team running around in Penguin Gilets, so it's constant association between individual and brand. And that works really well as well because you're building both at the same time.
Yeah, and a business that is about people, it's important for me to make sure that then people get recognised for the hard work that they put in.
Yeah.
So their presence online to the greater community, the larger community, it's important so that people see who is doing that job.
Yeah.
And what position and what responsibility they hold to running their services. It's extremely important because a lot of our clients don't necessarily get to meet Malika in accounts or Regan on help desk. They just receive
phone
emails,
calls or emails,
work orders. It's a very behind the scenes. So for us, I think it's extremely important that from leader down, everybody gets that recognition.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. I say it to the team. To be honest, I don't really need to say it to our team because they are so proud to work for the business that naturally they're going to engage with the content. As soon as e-marketing puts a post out, they all like it. I don't have to say it to any of them. Alicia does particularly well on LinkedIn and she started doing that more so as she's become more senior. And, they've even got it in their bios on Instagram on the personal pages. That's not something I've had to ask for. Yeah. But they're proud and that really makes a difference as well.
Yeah, definitely. So if you could give one piece of advice to companies out there in our sector, what would that be? So we're wanting to modernise marketing. Yeah, what would be your advice so they can bring their marketing into now, basically?
My one piece of advice would be, I think, a recurring pattern of everything that we've spoken about today. Don't believe the stereotype. You're not your job role. You're more than that. And be brave enough to tell it and understand that as soon as you start, that will make a material difference to your business.
Yeah. So a website is no longer enough.
Yes. No. I think... I mean, now it's a staple that you do have social media. I think everybody feels a responsibility to have a social media platform, and sometimes that comes with box ticking. So you'll get a lot of brands that don't have a marketing function within their business that understand that this is really important, so they'll just tick the box.
Yeah.
And therefore the content is sporadic, has no strategy, you can tell it's just someone going, well, we should really do this, we'll just put a post out. And that's not beneficial. So I think have the platforms, but also understand the importance of using them correctly and not just using them to tick a box.
Yeah, no, totally agree. So looking ahead, what's next for marketing in FM? What will separate the good from
Good
the
question.
great?
Good question. It would be hard not to speak about AI because that is coming thick and fast. And I would say it is related to AI. So AI is only going to make marketing more efficient and hopefully better. But I think there is a bit of a tipping point, particularly now, where everyone's starting to use it, but they're using and abusing it. So the content is clearly not human. So people are reading these captions and going, oh, freaking hell, which robot wrote that?
Yeah.
Or, oh, God, that visual. Clearly no one's actually gone and taken that piece of content. Yeah. So I think now it's making it human and making sure that we're using it to be efficient, but we are going and filming the real content. So there is a human behind it and there is a human message behind it, but using it to be efficient at the same time. And what that looks like is probably more volume, but also done better.
Yeah.
So content that actually resonates and brings a material difference to the business and isn't just there for the sake of it.
Yeah, and data
Yeah.
is a key part of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How can we use that data to make it great?
So first port of call is using it. So making sure that we are collecting the data and ensuring that we are collecting the right data and not just all of it because we need to. I think Alicia, again, is pretty good at doing this, particularly with you guys, where she's not just there to show you all the stats for the sake of it. She's there to pick the key KPIs and track on them and make sure that if a certain statistic is down or isn't as it should be, why and what can we do to be better? Or do we just scrap it and focus on the things that really do grow the business? And it's looking at that data and making sure that we're not just doing it for the sake of it. We're doing it with a view to make the whole process better for you and for us.
Yeah, no. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Yes, I mean, I could sit here and speak all day.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really could.
Well, hopefully, obviously, that several minutes has been insightful for you and for obviously them listening. Mm-hmm. It's real pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much. I feel honoured.
Welcome to the Penguin Podcast, brought to you by Penguin Facilities Management.